Hey guys, welcome. This is Paul. I am so excited for this Think and Grow Rich study to come up here in 2024. It feels like forever since I've done one of these studies. If this is your first time going through the book with me, I can't wait to hear your story. I can't wait to kind of learn where you are and how this book found you in your life. I was just 22 years old when this book found me. I was a struggling entrepreneur. I'd started my first business, had a couple $100s, and started a cleaning company. After a few years, I was making about $20,000. And one day, while out cold calling, I walked into this guy's office, and he changed my life forever. His name was Patrick Hayes. And Patrick sat me down and handed me this exact copy of the book. Now, when he gave it to me, it was brand new. Of course, this book has been read and beat up. It's been all over the world with me. And Patrick took me through the book, word by word, line by line, chapter by chapter. And he changed my life. It was the application of the principles in this book and the thinking and the shift in thinking that would take place in my life that would lead me on a growth journey for more than 3 decades now. I've gone on to earn millions of dollars as a result of this book. I've helped thousands of people apply these principles in their life and change their life for the better. And I cannot wait to do that with you coming up, starting just in a few days on my birthday, January 2nd, we start. As we go through the study, I'm going to have a couple of exercises for you to do. There are absolutely exercises in the book that Napoleon Hill tells you to do, and we're going to make sure that we do those as we go through the book together. But one of the exercises that I like to do is just a timeline exercise that's purposed to help prove to you that you can absolutely do what Napoleon Hill talks about, that you can absolutely think and grow rich, because you've already done it. If getting rich is what we call manifesting the life of your dream, if we can say that would be rich, right? You've done that in your life. There's been times in your life where you've moved from where you are now to where you want to be. In the study, we're going to call that kind of your departure point, and where you want to be is your arrival point. And you've done that. You've done that in big things and in small things in your life. And we forget those things. We forget those times of struggle. We forget those Herculean moments in our lives where we dug deep into resources within ourselves that we didn't even know we had at the time. And we've been able to kind of move forward and go beyond where we thought was possible. And this exercise is purposed to help you learn that learning model. See, everything we do in our lives is based on a learned model. You either learned it by watching other people do it, that's observational learning. Maybe you read something in a book, right? And you gathered knowledge that way. Maybe you did it like I did for a long time in my life, just the school of hard knocks, right? Trial and error. And then there's times in our life where we are literally downloaded from the mind of God, what Napoleon Hill would call infinite intelligence. We're downloaded ideas and great thoughts for us to take action on, and plans that come into our mind. And that propels us forward, and we learn that way. But everything you do, from driving your car to making decisions to how you shave, how you get dressed in the morning, how you return emails, how you interact with people, you've learned all of that behavior, and that behavior becomes stored as habits. Now, there's times in our lives where we have learning models of achievement and success. There's other times in our life where we have learning models of failure and struggle. And no matter where you are right now, where this study is going to meet you, you are probably at one of those turning points, one of those times in your learning model where you're in struggle, where you know there's more for you. Like, you know there's more for you. You know you have more potential than your results would indicate. And yet, for some reason, you just can't break free to that next level. There's something missing in the learning model. Each of our learning models is based on 3 things. First, our level of awareness. Second, our level of belief. And third, the principles within the model. I always give the example like when we were learning how to ride a bicycle. We had an awareness of bicycles, but we may not have understood, all the principles necessary to ride the bicycle, and we may have lacked the self-belief. And if we don't have all 3 of these things in our favor, the awareness, the belief, and the understanding of the principles, we stay in struggle. And so what happened in your life is you got a coach, you got a mentor. Maybe it was your big brother, your big sister. For me, it was a girl named Stacy Russell, a family friend. She took me down on Lincoln Playground, Lincoln Elementary School, on a borrowed bike. And for about an hour, what she did was she expanded my awareness, she fortified my belief, and she taught me the principles of riding a bicycle. She taught me balance. She taught me hand-eye coordination, muscle dexterity, things that I knew at one level of awareness, but she understood it at a better level. In other words, she understood that in order for me to maintain balance in riding the bicycle, I actually needed to go faster, that I needed momentum. I never knew that before. Stacy Russell taught me that when I was learning to ride the bicycle. So she expanded my awareness and understanding of a principle that I thought I knew, and I knew it at one level, but she expanded it. And she applied all that understanding and knowledge and all the fortified belief to a specific purpose. That's what's happening in this book. Think and Grow Rich is going to expand your learning model. It's going to help you tap into the desire of your heart. He calls this the all-consuming obsession, your chief aim in life. You're going to learn how to fortify your belief through persistence, through the application of autosuggestion, through the principle of faith. And you're going to learn principles of success and achievement, organized planning, specialized knowledge, learning how to use your intellectual faculties like imagination and the sixth sense that he has chapters dedicated to in the book. So what I want to do in this exercise is I want to highlight times in your life where you navigated from a learning model of struggle to a learning model achievement. Let me just click on this little button here, and my team has already kind of drawn out the timeline. You don't have to get really fancy. You're just drawing a timeline that's going from 0 to 100, assuming we're going to live to be 100 years old. 50's right in the middle, and then you're going to kind of find out where you are. I'm going to put I'll put a red mark here. Well, I think I can change it. I'm going to put a mark right here where let me just go down here. I'm 60 years old. So there I am. I'm 60 years old. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to find times on this timeline here where I'm going to just say, okay, here was a time in my life when I was about 13 years old. And at 13 years old, I won a contest selling light bulbs. I'm going to just mark that. And that was a time in my life where I navigated from a place of struggle to a place of achievement. I was 13 years old. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to reflect back on that. And I'm going to think about, what was my thinking at that time? What was my emotional state? So below the line here, I'm going to write out these times in my life where I had some kind of success or achievement, and I'm going to highlight those, and I'm going to write down what those results were. Above the line, I'm going to write out what my thinking was, what my thoughts were. What was the dominant feeling? Here, I knew what I developed as I developed confidence. I knew what I developed as I was laser focused, right? And so those were the things that led me to achievement. See, success leaves clues. What I kind of like to do in the timeline is, above the line, you're writing what you're thinking and feeling. Below the line, you're writing the result. As above, so below, right? In our thinking and our emotional mind, it creates the physical world that we live in. That's the creative process. That's how everything came to be. Everything you see started and has as its ancestry a thought tied to an emotion, which triggered a vibration, which caused you to move. And as you moved, everything in harmony with that vibration moved towards you in a very lawful process. So we're going to break down this entire process. But in this exercise, before we start on January 2nd, I encourage you, take 20 minutes and just draw out this timeline and think about the times in your life. It could be anything. Maybe you got a position in a play when you were 5 years old. Maybe it is when you learned how to ride a bike. See, what I've learned is that In God's universe doesn't recognize size. It doesn't recognize whether $1 million is a lot of money or a little money. We make it big in our own mind. We make it relative. For some people, they think, wow, $1 million is a lot of money. For other people, they think, wow, that's a bad month, right? It's all perspective. It's neither big nor small until we relate it to something else. And so we're going to learn how to apply these laws in this study. And the first way that we want to do this is we want to show our subconscious mind before we start that we've done this before. We have navigated from where we were to where we wanted to be. And it doesn't matter what it was, it doesn't matter how big or important, as long as it triggers in you the emotion that you felt proud, that you felt a sense of accomplishment, a sense of achievement. That's the feeling tone. If you can dial into 5 or 6 of those times in your life, I want you to highlight them on your timeline. And then write down what you were thinking, what you were feeling, what led to that success. Success really does leave clues. Because I believe that within this timeline exercise, as you find those things that you've been successful at, those seeds of achievement, those resources that you were able to find and tap into, I believe that within there is your potential code. And that if you can take those lessons from past achievement and apply them towards your purpose in this study, I think you're going to find that you're going to be able to magnify your results in the study. I cannot wait. I just cannot wait till January 2nd. Yes, it's my birthday, but what I can't wait is to be able to teach this book and, more importantly, study it with you. Don't grow alone. Share the link with a friend. Make sure you are there. Commit. Block off the times. We're doing Tuesdays and Saturdays. Block off the times now. Life is a fight for territory, and there's lots of things fighting for your time. Block off the time now to join the study. It doesn't cost you anything. There's no financial investment. All you have to do is give of your time and your intention. God bless. Happy New Year. Be well.